how do I let go of resentment that I feel toward my mother-in-law?
Oh, sweet. All right. What's going on?
Know. Well, it's like, to sum her up in one word, I would say she's kind of like a bully. She starts fights with family and her coworkers often. She's disrespected boundaries that my husband and I have set for our kids. She tends to like ruin family events and vacations if she has tantrums. Like, she'll have a tantrum if she doesn't get her way, if we don't want to go along with exactly what she wants to do. So, part of me feels like I should just not let it bother me. And it didn't until I had kids. Now that I have kids, I feel like I can't let go of like the bad behavior because I don't want it to influence my children.
Yeah. So when you say she blows past you and your husband's boundaries, give me some examples.
So a couple of years ago, we asked my husband's family, everybody, my family too, but we asked everybody to not feed my kids like a specific thing because she was having some gut issues that we needed to figure out. And then turns out my mother-in-law was feeding her that particular thing. And it really upset me. And then when I talked to her about it, she like screamed at me and yelled at me and said, "Oh, other people feed her this stuff," which is not true. She was just trying to deflect, I guess. And like, we've also asked her to not buy our kids as many toys because every time we see her, she's always buying stuff for the kids. We have 3 kids and we live in a very small space and we don't have the room for it. So things like that, like she just, for some reason, wants to do what she wants to do.
What's your husband's relationship with his mother?
Good question. They're close, but I think the closeness is more like guilt as opposed to I really want to spend time with my mom. She's single. She's been married multiple times. And I think between him and his sister, they kind of feel like they have to be responsible for taking care of her emotionally, maybe.
What does close mean? Let me say it this way. It sounds like you're being coy.
I probably am.
Tell me about the relationship between your husband and his mom.
They talk a lot.
How
but
much?
a lot of the conversation is initiated by her. They talk almost every single day. Text message, phone calls, sometimes multiple times a day. And that kind of, it shouldn't annoy me, but it annoys me only because I feel like she doesn't have any other like friendships or anything or anybody else to rely on. So it seems like she's relying heavily on my husband for like, I don't know, male companionship, which sounds kind of gross, but that's what it feels like.
So I want to put something on the table. You tell me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
Your mother-in-law's bananas. And I say that in the most clinical, assessed kind of way, right?
Sure.
She's bananas. You don't resent bananas. You resent your husband. Because your husband talks to this woman every day. He eggs it on. He continues to go to her and to accept it when she comes barging in the house.
Yeah.
If let me put it this way, and I'll get some pushback on this, and I don't really care. If my mom was completely disregarding something that was important to my child's health, I'm going to go directly and have that conversation. I'm not going to tell my wife, well, you need to go talk to my mom. I'm not going to do that.
Right.
And if they do it again, or if it happens, maybe if it happens one time, I'm going to say, hey guys, you've opted out of relationship with us. I'm going to hang up the phone. I'm not going to go. But for some reason, your husband keeps saying, we got to go. We got to go. We got to keep showing up. We got to keep taking the kids over there. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
Okay. So let's be honest about who you're really mad at. Because I mean, I say this with all due respect. Your mother-in-law's a cartoon character.
Of course. Yeah.
Right? She it's so out of bounds how she treats people. She's a cartoon character. And of course she's been through multiple marriages, and of course she struggles to keep work relationships, and of course she doesn't have any friends. She treats people really bad. She's clearly got major struggles that she's dealing with. or she's choosing to not deal with, right? And
Right.
I would be willing to bet money that your husband and his sister have spent their entire lives propping up that madness, right?
I'm sure of it.
Okay. But he looked at you and said, I do. And the moment he did that, his priority became you. And then y'all made humans, and his priority became them. You get what I'm saying?
That's right. You're completely right.
He cannot hold both sides of, he can't hold all of this up.
Mm-hmm.
And so tell me about conversations you've had with him about, hey, I need you to deal with your mom.
They, in the past, like a long time ago when we first started having these conversations, it didn't really go so well.
Why not? Tell me about it.
I think it's because I'm probably the first person that's really pushed back against her. Everyone else kind of accepts the behavior as, well, that's just who she is, and that's just what she does. And
no, I'm talking about you and your husband. When you said, hey, this isn't okay, how she treats me. This isn't okay how she treats our kids. I don't like watching another person, I don't care if it's your mom or not, treat my husband this way. What does he say?
He has supported that, and he agrees.
Okay.
He sees it more now. It has taken him some time,
okay,
but he sees it more now. So he has gotten better at, I guess, maintaining the boundaries. But there's still sometimes where, he'll say, Mom wants us to come over for dinner. And I'll say, and I'll roll my eyes, and then he'll get kind of upset about that. And I'll say, I just don't really want to hang out with your mom, and sometimes there's like a little bit of an argument there, but I think for the most part, he has done a better job of protecting me and the kids.
And I'll say he hasn't. Because he still brings to you, hey, this rattlesnake bites us all the time. Hey, just get bit once this week, please.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, no. And then you act immaturely, you roll your eyes, right? And then y'all start the dance that y'all have. And I promise you, it's not just about her. Y'all do this about other stuff too, fair?
Sometimes.
Yes, when he's like, well, yes, can we just, and you're like, ugh.
Yeah, I do go along a lot with what he wants to do.
I know. You know why? Because part of him is his mom too. And it may be more subtle and it may be less dramatic, but y'all have recreated his childhood in your own house.
Ooh.
And then in a weird...
sounds icky.
It is, but also you've become his mom too.
Ugh.
So here's the thing. You can't, and I say this with all loving respect, and I do believe you got to honor and respect your parents, but I can't participate. Does that mean, what does that mean? I'm not going to talk bad about my mom. And also, I will never entertain dinner over there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be disrespectful to her. I'm not going to engage in joking and blah, 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 blah. I'm just not going to be that person. And my kids will never go over there. And I'm not going to subject my wife to any person who screams and yells. Any person who disrespects my kids and their health. Any sort of crude jokes or talk, like whatever y'all want. And then let's be honest about how this plays out in your sex life. Let's be honest how this plays out when y'all are planning vacations. Let's be honest about how this plays out when y'all two are deciding where y'all going to go to dinner. Because I almost guarantee you there's traces of it there too.
Yeah, you're right.
So I think mom has become a proxy. She's an easy target.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Can he, if y'all sit down and do the proverbial swipe the table clean and you look at him and say, I'm tired of rolling my eyes at you. I want to be your wife, not your mom. I'm also tired of you not being my husband and defending me against this woman that continually comes after me.
Mm-hmm.
What was his response be?
I think he would agree with me, but I also think that might not hold over time. They tend to, his family, I've noticed, tends to they'll forget about things over time. And I'm afraid that this would be one of those things potentially.
Okay, so here's what it looks like. I will never go over there for dinner again. Please don't ask. Because when you ask, you're putting me in a position to have to hold a boundary against somebody that's supposed to be on my team. Our kids will never go over there again. She is psychologically unstable. She makes our kids not safe. Emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, physically. Look at me, honey. They will never go over there again. Period.
Yeah.
So please stop asking. You know she's going to start screaming and yell. Yes, I absolutely do. And by the way, she does that when I'm there anyway.
Right.
She's literally unsafe.
And I'm afraid that she's going to start doing that to my children.
100%. She already is.
I know.
She already is. And like all little kids, they think it's their fault and they start trying to solve it. And that's not their job. And can we be honest? Dude, grandmothers are supposed to be the greatest source of endless joy and safety and laughter and love. And in your case, you don't have that. Your kids don't have that.
Yeah, it's disappointing.
It's heartbreaking. I hate it for them. But I think here's what I want you to do. I want you to back up for a second and let's just put mother-in-law aside. She's a cartoon. I know she's a real person that hurts real people. I get that. But let's just move her to the side. Let's be really honest. I want you to write this stuff down about your own marriage. Here's our dynamic, honey, when it comes to eating out. When it comes to how we save money or spend money with our sex life. I don't like this dynamic. We're recreating this. And maybe we're not recreating it with screaming and yelling and histrionic like madness. Maybe we're not doing that, but we're recreating it in this way. And I don't want to do that. And then here's the most important part, Nicole. Here's what I do want this to look like, and here's what I want this to feel like. I want my home to be a place of I want my husband to be someone I highly respect and who will get between danger and me and the kids. Even if that's his mom. I want a husband who will spend as much time on me and our kids and lifting us up as he does trying to run around and prop his mother up. And here's what I'm contributing, because I know you're not. I mean, you got skin in this too, right? I'm gonna stop rolling my eyes at my husband. I'm gonna stop being mad at you all the time and blaming your mom for it. We got some real challenges in our marriage. I want to get to the bottom of it. But let's start there. Let's start there. And then we'll make some very real, true, hard boundaries with another adult in your life that is psychologically unstable and that's making people unsafe. Very clear boundaries. I will not ever, period. Please do not ask again. And then we'll go from there. Thanks for the call, sister. Man, having a great mother-in-law is the best, and having a challenging, awful mother-in-law is a nightmare.